Good morning, boys and girls. I'm here to talk to you or read to you a story. Last week we read a story about butterflies, and we read about how butterflies go through a change. They start off with eggs, and then we have the caterpillar, and then the caterpillar makes this chrysalis, or this little cage, where the caterpillar turns into a butterfly, and then we have a big beautiful butterfly emerge. It was like a cycle, it was like a circle of changes. Well, today we're going to continue that talk about life cycles, and we're going to read about another animal that goes through a change, and that would be the frog. From tadpole to frog. This is Frog Pond, but where are the frogs? When winter winds whistle, the frogs hide. They sleep in the bottom of the pond in the soft mud. Frogs hibernate in their hideaway all winter long. Hibernate. Do you know some other animals that hibernate? Can you tell me? Some of you might have said bears. Yes, bears hibernate. There are other animals that hibernate, like a snake or a groundhog, foxes, but also the frog. The frog will hibernate all winter long. After the ice melts and the flowers appear, birds return and pond creatures wake up. Spring has arrived at Frog Pond, and there are old frogs stretching their legs. And at night, you can hear ribbit, ribbit. The frogs are talking to one another. Tiny eggs are laid in the pond. They hatch tiny eggs into the pond. And it comes, and out, tadpoles will come out from the eggs. They wiggle their little tails and breathe underwater with gills just like fish. During the summer, the tadpoles swim about eating water plants. But water beetles, snakes, and birds are eating too. They're eating tasty little tadpoles. So you'll notice there were lots of eggs, or frog eggs, in the pond, and that's because we know that some of those, when they hatch and they become tadpoles and they're swimming around in the pond, we know that other creatures will eat them. So the frogs have to lay a lot of eggs. When fall comes, look carefully at the water. Are any tadpoles left? Do we see any? I don't see any. But look here. Are they tadpoles or are they wet leaves? They're brownish speckled tadpoles. Hundreds of them float by with the brownish speckled leaves. Each are eating and swimming, swimming and eating. The tadpoles grow fast. So if you look at these tadpoles, they're camouflaged to sort of look like the leaves that have fallen from the trees. That's why when we were looking at this page, we didn't see any tadpoles. They look like they're leaves. The leaves have fallen from the tree into the pond. But if we look beneath the water swimming, we'll see the tadpoles swimming. And their tails kind of resemble the leaves. When the winter wind blows again, they burrow under the mud at the bottom of the pond. They do not eat. They do not move. They just sleep. Sounds like we've got some hibernation going on again. So the tadpoles are now hibernating because it's winter time. When spring sunshine warms the tadpoles' world, they awake and they are very hungry. Think about that, boys and girls. If you were to sleep all winter long, wouldn't you be very hungry? I know I would. So they swim and eat and swim. Tiny hind legs begin to sprout. Do you see that? They didn't have those before, and now they've got these little legs. And they grow longer and stronger while the tail grows shorter. So they begin to lose their tail, but they also begin to grow legs. Tiny front legs begin to show. The tadpoles look like long-tailed frogs at this point. All summer, the tadpoles change more and more. Lungs develop, and more mouths and eyes. They grow larger until they start to really look like frogs. When their tails disappear, they are no longer tadpoles. Now, they use their strong legs and webbed feet to swim instead of their tails. So you'll notice their tails are gone. They've got these big, strong frog legs, 4 of them. Now they can rest on lily pads and leap onto land. The frogs flick out their long, sticky tongues and capture worms, spiders, and dragonflies. Now, where are the frogs? You see them hiding in the grasses there? Slowly, the day grows colder. Winter winds blow. Birds fly south. Once again, the pond creatures hibernate. Where are the frogs now? Do you remember where the frogs go? It was at the beginning of the story. Where did we find the frogs? Well, we found them down deep in the pond, in the mud, and that's where they sleep and they hibernate until they wake up again in the springtime to lay their eggs. All right, let's look over here. Miss Willette has drawn us a life cycle for the frog. Just like we had a life cycle for the butterfly, the frogs have a life cycle too. They start off here as the eggs. Here we've got those eggs. And after the eggs, they change into a tadpole. Tadpole. And here you notice the tadpole doesn't really look like a frog yet. So give it some time and the tadpole will start to develop legs and the tail will get shorter. So this is still a tadpole. It's just working to become, what is it working to become? A frog. I bet you could spell frog with me. Let's spell it together. Frog. What's that first sound we hear? F. Yes. R. Yes, there's our vowel, the O. Frog. G. G. And remember with our G, let's skywrite our G. Remember? It's a C. Pick up your pencil. Down and hook. Frog. And then after it's done being a frog, the frog will lay eggs and then it starts all over again. Okay, your moms and dads will have gotten a little worksheet where you can cut up the life cycle of the frog and glue it down. So you try doing that today, and then I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.